Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy. It's my pleasure. It's always my honor to be greeting you and bringing this message of emancipation to you, pointing you to look in order to discover that your real identity is your divinity and that you can create your reality consciously. For it is your own thought that is creating your reality, creating your personality. Therefore, you have to be more responsible for your life and for the thoughts that you uphold in your everyday life. And that is why I want to share with you something that Abdullah would have taught Neville Goddard. And as we know, Abdullah was a mystic from Ethiopia, and he taught Neville how to believe and receive. And that is the message I want to send to each and everyone who would listen to this video. How to believe and receive. First of all, Neville have a desire. And even in the popular book, Think and Grow Rich, it is stated that one of the very first things that you must have is a desire, and you must start with a desire. Now, a desire is a spiritual sensation. And when you have that spiritual sensation, it will be burning deep within you. And that burning that you're feeling, it is the indication that it is already yours. And all you have to do is claim it. Neville did a lecture called Harder Than Wait. It's the same thing I am speaking here about. So when Neville had his burning desire to travel to Barbados, and Abdullah assured him that it was a spiritual sensation, and as long as he believed it, it would be conceived as an impregnation, and it will bring forth the manifestation, and that he must not take a spiritual abortion by allowing self-doubt to come in to mess with his pregnancy. Abdullah said to Neville, if you're pregnant, you're pregnant. Allow the baby to grow, and the time will come when there would be the expression. Now, remember, Abdullah taught Neville Goddard the scriptures and taught him also the Kabbalah. And one thing that Abdullah taught Neville is that true Christianity is pointing you to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity, and that is true alchemy. Also, he taught Neville Goddard that the Bible is a spiritual autobiography that must be interpreted psychologically. And he taught Neville also that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically, that it is not literal, neither is it secular history. Therefore, when Abdullah was teaching Neville Goddard how to believe and receive, we realize that we can go into the Bible and see these things as the teaching of the Christ. And many people believe Christ to be a man who existed thousands of years ago, but Christ is speaking of your higher self, your true self, teaching you when you come into true enlightenment or true awareness of who you are, that you would discover that you are the Lord and Master of your own destiny. And a change of mind is a change of destiny. So I can go into the Bible in Mark chapter 11 and verses 24 and quote where it is stated that the Christ is saying, which is your higher self, therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is, what what things soever you desire, when ye pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them. So when it says whenever you pray, many people believe that prayer is speaking to a God or a power outside of yourself. But in Matthew chapter 6, it tells you must not be like the hypocrites who like to be seen and like to be heard. But you must go into the secret place where your Father dwells. And you must close the door, go into your closet, which is going into your inner self. Closing the door is closing your eyes, because that's the doorway or the gateway to your soul. And get in touch with your inner self and speak within, which means that true prayer is having first of all a desire, and you go into meditation, inner speaking, inner communication, self-talk, and you learn to see things through your mind's eye, which is through the eye of God, through the eye of imagination. So we see Abdullah taught Neville Goddard how to make Mark 11:24 a reality in his life, when he says to Neville to imagine himself in his mother's home in Barbados while he was residing in New York. And also he told Neville to imagine himself walking the streets of Barbados while he walked the streets of New York also. This is the same scripture that has been applied when Neville was doing exactly what Abdullah would have taught him. And when you do the same thing, you would realize that you are the fulfillment of scripture, and that you are the living book expressing the written book. So my brothers and my sisters, it says that what things are whatsoever you desire, when you pray, when you go into meditation, when you go into visualization, that you must believe. That's all you have to do, believe that you receive, which means you must go to the end. If you're going to believe you receive, you have to see you already have that which you desire. So you must receive them, and you shall have them. You shall have that which you believe and see yourself already receive. So my brothers and my sisters, it's as simple as believe and receive. So to believe in God is to believe in yourself. To trust in God is to trust in yourself. For the self of man is God. God and man are one. There's only one creator, and there's only one creative power. And the only creative power there is in this world that is used by everyone, whether consciously or unconsciously, is the creative power of imagination. Everything that we depend upon in this life for survival, it was first imagined. It was first a thought. It was first an idea. For everything that is visible was first invisible. And out of the invisible comes the visible. From thought to manifestation, or from spirit to matter, it's transmutation of energy. And we all are using the same energy. It's thought energy. It's all vibration and frequency. And our brain is a transmitter and a receiver of frequency. And that is why, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. When you look at the sea and you look at the tide, you see the same tide that comes in is the same tide that goes out. It's the law of rhythm. So my brother and my sisters, let us get into the right rhythm and vibrate in the right frequency, and prove that all you need to do is believe and receive, according to Mark chapter 11 and verses 24. Believe in your Christ self. Trust your Christ self, because it is your Christ self that is saying to you, therefore, I say unto you, that's the inner self speaking, what things soever you desire, and we all do have desires, when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall have them. So my brothers and my sisters, You want more money in your bank account, you have to believe that it's already there. Whatever it is that you want, you have to believe it. It is not your duty to think about how it's going to be done or when it's going to be done. It never tells you anything about the in between. It only tells you to believe, and you shall. It means that a process of time will take place, and time is not even real. It's an illusion. But it is telling you there must be a cycle, for there's a lot of gestation. Okay, so you look around and you see everything in nature has this gestation period or this cycle. For it takes a cycle of 21 days for an egg to hatch. It takes a cycle of months for a sheep or a goat or an animal to come forth. It takes a cycle for us to have this human experience where we express it as a baby. It takes 9 months. So my brother and my sisters, Habakkuk chapter 2 tells you the same thing. That when you have that desire, when you have a vision, that you must write it down, make it plain. And that there's a time period. There's the love gestation that will take place. But once you follow that procedure, that it is sure, just wait for it. So my brother and my sisters, it's just as simple as believe and receive. And that was what Abdullah taught Neville Goddard, to believe and receive. And then Neville received a letter under his door with $50 in that time of 1933 when there was the Great Depression. And he had no work, he had no money. And he received that letter from his brother. He didn't ask his brother for a favor. He didn't write to his brother. He didn't do anything more than he used his imagination. And he had money to buy his ticket. He had money to buy himself a suit. And he was given the privilege to travel first class and the privilege also to sit at the bar and order whatever he desired, and someone else was going to take care of the bill for him. My brother and my sisters, when you walk in the laws that governs the universe and the laws that governs the humanity, and understand the scriptures psychologically, others gonna walk on your behalf to make your dreams a reality, because we are all connected. We are all one mind connected to the divine mind. We are all infinite beings. We are all spirit just having a human experience here. We need each other. So when you come into the collective and realize that we are all one, and you get rid of all division, you get rid of all the lies, then you come in to realize that all you need to do is believe and receive. When Abdullah would believe and receive his ticket to the opera, when there were racial barriers, as some would have seen it, with those saying no niggers allowed, Abdullah will never allow Neville to go and buy his ticket for him, because Abdullah see himself the way he's supposed to be seeing himself. And the way he see himself is the way others were seeing him. And Abdullah will go right into the center, into the circle, right down where the VIP is. Neville would be so excited to share such a word concerning Abdullah, saying that Abdullah was living a time of segregation against colored people, and Abdullah never see himself that way. Abdullah see himself as God in flesh. Abdullah see himself as one who have rights just as anyone else, because we all are clothed in the same garment that is dipped in blood. One blood. It has one color. So my brother and my sisters, there's only one race, and that's the human race. So my brother and my sisters, get in touch, get connected with this human race where you're having this human experience, and never forget who you are, that you are spirit, you're eternal being, and you have the same creative power as anyone else in this world, and use that power to achieve your every desire. So with that being said, my brother and my sister, I want to thank you very much for listening to me, and I want to say, if what I'm saying to you is really motivating you and it's wisdom to you, it's really resonating with you, and you haven't subscribed already, I'm encouraging you to subscribe, to like, to comment, to share this video. But just before I leave you, I just want to remind you that this message I bring to you, that it is the single eye message of self-realization, of which Matthew 6:22 says that if your eye be single, your whole body be full of light. And truly, it is true. When your single eye is awakened within you, your whole body be full of light. And you will change from mortal to immortality in a twinkling of an eye. After you would have felt that great earthquake, and you would have had the experience of hearing the mighty rushing wind, and you will ascend like a fiery being and come out of the tomb and find your body to be the tomb in which the Christ is buried, and you become one with the wind. You become invisible. You come back to your true essence, and then you would realize that such experience is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N, and that it is the dawning of a new day in your life. For the sun, as in the S-U-N, it do parallels the human imagination, and the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun, there is no life and there is no light. Not Jesus. Without the sun, the S-U-N, for there is no S-O-N that can exist unless there first be the S-U-N. So people, please wake up. Also, you realize without the sun, as I said before, there is no life and there is no light. And without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And you're told in the Bible in Psalms 84:11 that the Lord thy God is a sun and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. And truly the Son has never withhold any good thing from humanity, for the Son is what powers all of humanity and give all of humanity its energy. Then in Malachi chapter 4:2, you're told that the Son of Righteousness shall arise in you with healing in his wings. And truly, when the Son has risen in me, I'm bringing healing to all of humanity, pointing each and everyone to look inwardly and to use your mind power, which is your solar power, your sun power, your God power, your creative power, which is actually the sexual power. Use that power to achieve your every desire. For all you have to do is believe and receive. And that was the message that was taught to Neville Goddard by our ancestor Abdullah, the black mystic from Ethiopia. So that being said, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.